P-I-M-P by 50 Cent, or 50 Cent as I call him. XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, you're Steve Merchant, there's little Karl Pilkington over there. Alright?
Alright. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Listen,
oh, he's perked up.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back in the area. Well, you got something to say?
I was kept quiet in the first hour, I'll let you get on with it now.
What you got to say? Is it, just have a guess, is it about monkeys, Chinese people, or little gay fellas?
It's about little gay fellas.
Is it?
Of course it is.
Go on.
Yeah, but not because I like
Sorry, I'm
taking
just
the mick
making
in
a
that.
tally, let me just note that down.
Yeah.
No, but it fascinates me, doesn't it? All stuff like that, that's a bit sort of different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that.
What,
You were showing me.
like monkeys and Chinese people?
Well, and that thing you were showing me before, the half woman.
No, you weren't impressed with that?
Well, no.
You know that woman that's got two pieces of genetic makeup in her where it was two separate sperms and two separate eggs, fused, and she came out as sort of a normal person, but she had this residue of genetic material, and so she's had two children that aren't genetically the same as her.
Yeah.
Right? And they showed it in the paper by doing her half white and half black to show the two different, you know what I mean, just for, he went, does she look like that? I said, of course not. He went, not interested then.
Of course. Yeah.
He said, how could I tell? Not interested in that at all.
Yeah.
If I'd have said she'd given birth to a monkey, fascinated,
Yeah.
straight away.
Well, anyway.
Go on.
But that's what I'm saying, I'm just interested in weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
am I. That's why you're on the show.
Talking about little gay fellas and that.
Yeah.
Northern Line, the underground tube thing.
Not the boy band.
Right. Apparently, on a Saturday night, late, I don't know what that is, what time late is in the sort of gay community, as we've discussed before. But apparently, the last carriage on the Northern Line, they all get in there.
What do you mean they all get in there?
They sort of take over the last carriage of the Northern Line on a Saturday night.
Right.
And it's like the gay carriage.
Right. And what exactly do? They just travel about on the Northern Line?
No, just have a chat and that, and like, just,
stick on the communards.
How do you know?
Someone tell me.
See, I mean, I'm glad you've informed me, because it wouldn't bother me, but I feel I should be told about these things, because I'm likely to stumble onto that carriage by mistake, and it's not that it'd be a problem, it's just I might feel a little uncomfortable if there's a lot of people in, you know, the black, the black leather gear and the moustaches, the hats.
I mean, to be quite honest, they'd be annoyed.
Of course.
Because they'd be expecting something a little bit, you know.
What do you mean?
Well.
They're good looking, most of them.
Sure.
No, they are good looking fellas though, aren't they?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
They're just a lot of the gay, you know, they look after themselves and that and look good. Keep themselves.
Some of them work out, yeah.
You see, this is the problem I have, because there's a lot of areas in London and elsewhere in the country where there's a sort of, you know, it's a gay thing, you know, it's a gay public toilet, or I don't mean it's gay, but it's not like a legal thing.
You mean it's a cottage?
But it's a cottage, whatever. I mean, I remember being, in Bristol once doing some...
You're confused when I said it's a cottage. Yeah. That's a term for where gay people go in toilets to sort of meet and greet each other.
But I
shake hands.
I was at the public library in Bristol once doing some studies from a sixth form, and I think the toilet was closed in the library, and I was dying for the toilet, and I popped out and there was a public toilet behind the library. I thought, I can't believe my luck. Dashed down there, it was about 6-ish in the evening, I was working late, I was studying hard. I went in there, and I swear to God, I saw two fellas. With the... Is that
unusual? Or?
Well, no, they were up to some hijinks.
What they're sort of like...
Do you know the thing that struck me?
What?
One of them had bright red underpants.
What do you mean? They
were actually doing, you know, they were having some kind of, you know, they were having relations. They weren't even in a cubicle, they were out in the...
Where were the underpants?
What, around his ankles?
No!
Yes, I swear to God, I'm not going to make this up.
What old were you?
I don't know, like, how old you are in the sixth form? 16 or whatever? 17?
Yeah, and what did you do?
Well, I actually said...
you just joined in? What else did you do? You might as well.
I actually swore, I said, oh, F me. And then I went, oh, no, don't. No, I did, I swear to God. I did. I went, oh, F me. No, don't. Because I was panicked. And I ran out. And as I was walking out, a guy was coming in, I went, oh, hang on, mate. And then I thought, I better not tell him. I'll let him find out for himself. He might be going in there to join in. He might have got a call. Come down. We're going crazy on each other's ass. Come down.
It's conspiracy in Bristol.
But
conspiracy.
What annoyed me
my
was...
lover. What a bit of car.
What angered me, Rick, was the fact that I wasn't notified, that there was not... I didn't know
there was no sign.
And afterwards, I spoke to other people about it, and they said, oh, it's a famous gay haunt. But what annoys me is I feel that they should put an ad in the local press,
Yeah.
a big paper, like once a week, like, you know, when they recall cars if they're damaged or there's a fault, or couriers might bring back stuff if they're sort of faulty goods, they say recall and we'll give you money back. They
What
should
do you
put an ad in, the
suggest?
gay community should put an advert in that just says, these are the hot spots, this is where you're likely to find us doing some stuff. If you're not gay and you might feel uncomfortable, avoid them. And just list them, or little pictures, or, you know, a map or something. Anything, because like the gay tube thing, I don't know that's
Fun. 1, 2, 3. Railway cuttings.
Well, not that. It's more of a sort of social awareness thing.
Yeah.
So people, you know, don't feel uncomfortable and.
But they don't want it exactly to be like sort of walking in under a neon sign.
Why? It's legal.
yeah, big arrows. Oh, as if.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
Because, well, it's actually a public place. I don't think cartaging is strictly legal.
But then even if to specify what they're going to do.
But some people, they're not. Some of them aren't. I don't think it's probably
they
seen
advertise
gays, is
GAY.
it? Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not the people that go out and they say I'm gay and I like Barbara Streisand. It's presumably the sort of people that do that are people that either aren't quite out yet, or do you know what I mean? Or they're doing having a quick run away to their wife and kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know completely how it works, but I'm sure there probably isn't a place like free bumming here tonight.
No, there is kind of.
What?
Because I was walking home one night through Soho, right? Just because that's the way I have to go, not because of you know what I mean? I wasn't going there on that, right? So I'm walking through, right? And I was handed like a card, which was like a gay event, right? Now that's a bit weird, isn't it? That straight away he's presuming that because I'm there that time of night.
Well, and you got a shaved head, and you sort of like, you know, you sort of like quite look after yourself, and you got some nice clothes.
Yeah, but it's still
And you look
can't
like
really
a little bit
presume.
rough, don't you, from Manchester?
It was
You look like a northern rent boy who comes down to stand outside McDonald's.
But the card was rubbish, right?
What do you mean?
Had this fella on it, right? All sort of greased up and that.
What did you look?
Just having a look what he'd handed me and that.
Right.
Just having a look. Picture of him, sort of sailor's hat on, tan body, like just his arse out like that, and rubbish slogan, right? The best bum in W1.
Is bum there a noun or like a verb?
What do you mean?
Well, to bum, is it like get the best bum you've ever had, or he had the best bum?
I think it's.
I don't suppose you asked.
No.
I don't suppose you called the number to check. What do you mean exactly by this? Does it mean you've got a grey arse?
Do you mean I will be well bummed, or do you mean you've just got a good?
Come on now, let's.
Can I just a final point about, because I asked my friend how it all works up on the Heath, because I live in Hampstead Heath, near Hampstead, and I was where I didn't want to go walking and get myself involved in anything.
How can you get involved?
No, again, I didn't want to walk.
Sort of like, is it like, oh, you believe it? I couldn't say no. Oh, my wrist, it's knackered. What do you mean? Well, I was there for about 2 hours. I must have gone about 43 of them. But, you know, I didn't like to say no, because they were so pleased to see me. Oh,
well, it's
God.
not so much the fear of that. It's not
Good skiing practice. I was doing 2 at a time for a little while.
It's not the fear of that so much as the fact that, again, you don't want to gate crash someone else's party. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You don't. If there was a straight couple having sex, you'd want. Oh, I'm sorry, and you'd want to avoid that area.
Yeah, of course.
But I find so someone told me how it works, and apparently you just go and like sit on a bench or something, and then a guy just sits on the bench and they just look at each other. There's not really anything said. It's just a kind of nice evening or whatever. You know, I guess it's like 2 in the morning or whatever. And then they go off in the bushes and ding dong. But it's like, I don't know how that culture's developed.
I love this programme.
But why can't that be the case with women? That would be amazing. You just go out to the park, at 1 in the morning, you just sit on a bench, you just
be like a scene from Gigi.
Exactly.
Where he's just walking along with the perambulator.
Yeah. Exactly. But that would be a joy if there was none of this formality. You've got to talk to them, buy them dinner.
Oh,
you know,
you're joking.
Romance.
Oh no.
Just this kind of informal thing. It'd be great.
So what would you do then? You go up to a woman and go, come on.
Yeah.
Let's stop mucking around.
We know why we're both sat on this bench.
There's a nice bush over there.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit.
Yeah, and then she'd go, yeah, great, thanks. I'm killing some time before I, pop into town. Yeah. That'll be perfect, thanks. You make my weekend.
So you're jealous of gays as well as me?
In a sense. In a way.
What do you think, Carl?
Let's put a track on.
Why? Are you getting scared now?
You brought it up.
Is it getting too close to the bone, so to speak?
Whereas some would argue
2005.
that waste not, want not is perhaps a little bit more pithy, a little bit more...
We should go through great sayings and phrases and say
See if he
Carl,
can, well, firstly, does he know what they mean? And then secondly, can he improve them?
that would be brilliant.
We'll do that next time.
week.
So, let's see. Okay, Winston Churchill. Never have so few done so much for so many. What do you think of that? How would you... Do you know what that means?
I'd just be annoyed if I was one of them who gave a lot for a few or whatever, right?
No, gave a lot for so many. You were,
Yeah,
if you were one of those few
yeah,
that gave so much for so many, i.e., it means these few good men, their actions freed the world. They freed the world. They have an impact on every person in the world, and they were few brave men, yeah. And that's what he's saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was one of them men who gave up his life, right, I'd want a name check. I don't want to be bungled in with everyone else who is saying a load of blokes gave it their lives. Well done on that. See you later.
That's brilliant.
Did you just say bungled in?
Yeah, bungled in. Yeah.
You made up a word.
You want to be bungled in?
You made up a word. See, that's it. You see, we've been looking for it. That's original. That's Karl Pilkington. I don't want to be bungled in.
Right, do you know we've chatted about charities before, haven't we?
Sure. Yeah.
Done a lot of stuff on that, right? I was coming back from Manchester, right? Got off the train, Euston.
Yeah.
Right? Got off the train, walking through the busy bit and stuff. There's this fella stood there, right? Good charity worker.
Yeah.
Right? Nice looking fella who's got his suit on, the tie and everything, quite respectable and that, right? Look down at his bucket, all money's been put in the bucket and that,
Yeah.
right? On the front of the bucket, right? It says collecting for the homeless at Christmas. Now, why can't they do that?
What, the homeless?
The homeless people. Why is some fella taking his time out, right? His own time where he could be at home. Why?
Some of us have got homes to go to.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know what I mean?
What, do you think just give them the buckets?
Well, what are the homeless people doing whilst he's doing that? Is what I'm saying. What have they got on the timetable?
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman.
What would prevent a homeless person and an entrepreneurial or homeless person just getting a bucket and writing that on there themselves?
Could I suggest something? Hunger, some drug addiction, traumas, often mental illness. Just possibly too depressed to get up, put a suit on, and go to Euston Station with a nice bucket with some writing on it.
And then, right, I was thinking about that, right, and I was walking down the street in London with Suzanne. Saw a little homeless. Well, I didn't see the homeless bloke, right? I saw a leg,
Right.
sticking out of a doorway. Thought, here we go, right? Walked past it, right? You're not going to believe this.
Go on.
Homeless
Yeah.
Chinese fella. I've never seen one of them. No, I'm not having a go, right? But have you ever seen? Do you know what I mean? That was a shock.
I
to me.
really don't think I have. I think he's got me there. I hate to say it, but I must say I can't remember ever seeing a homeless Chinese person.
Weird, isn't it?
I
Actually, I was walked past and I said to Suzanne, "Did you see that?" She went, "What?" I said, "Just look back there." She said, "What?" I said, "That homeless fella. Look back at him." She said, "What?" I said, "He's Chinese." And she said, "Yeah, good point."
Good point. Of course she did.
She said that to shut you up.
She didn't
yeah.
want to get into a conversation with you. I got a text from Carl yesterday, Steve.
A text from Carl, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just read it to you. Okay. See you to Moz for a face rub at 6:30 then. No bum tubes though. So I was intrigued and I called Carl and said, "I think you've just sent me a text by mistake." What's the explanation of that?
My mate, right, Russell, he said, you know, there's things that go on in life that you need to experience.
Yeah.
He said, just pop along. And I didn't say yes straight away.
What's a face rub? You mean a facial? Where you lay down...
You just clean your face with a flannel
yeah.
and that.
So
but
you're going to go lie down with another man and have your face
well,
filled
no,
with it?
this is what I was saying to him. There's a couple of questions. I didn't just say yes straight away. I questioned it. I said, well, I'm not that happy with this. So I said, look, there's nothing weird going on here, is there? I said, it's not a house, is it? It's a proper clinic and that. He said, yeah, it's proper. You wear a dressing gown and that. I said, well, I'm not that
So he's
happy with
already
that.
got you in the dressing gown?
Yeah, well, I haven't agreed to that. Today I've worn a little round polar neck sort of jumper so I don't have to take it off. It's not going to get in the way of my face. I made sure I didn't wear a shirt with a collar. I'm not taking this off. They can put the dressing gown on top of this.
Right.
I don't know if it's a woman who rubs my head. Don't know if it's a bloke or whatever.
Well, the thing is, you get extra, don't you, for your face rub, because your face goes all the way back over the top of your head down to the back of your neck.
But all I was,
so you've got a big face, haven't you?
All I was saying to him is, I'll have the face rub, but I don't know if once you're in there,
Right.
they try and sell you the old
The old...
The bum tube thing.
What's a bum tube? Is that a euphemism? What are you talking about?
The thing where they pop a tube in and put coffee in your belly and it cleans you out and that. So
An enema? Why would you have that?
I don't want it. I don't think
Why
you
not?
need to. Just because I think I've said to you before about, you don't need to be that clean inside. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind washing my face. But at what occasion do you need where you're that cleaned out? Do you know what I mean? And it's always a clear tube and that, and you see all the stuff whizzing past. I don't understand why it's clear. I don't know why you've got to see what's coming out of you. Like it's, like the generation game, making notes of what's whizzing past. Forget it.
I was watching some different TV, saw an amazing documentary. It was called Tribes. This guy, and he goes and lives with different tribes around the world, these small little indigenous people. And there was one, he went to Papua New Guinea in Indonesia, right, Carl? He lived with the Kombai tribe. All right. Now, this Papua New Guinea is an extraordinary place because it is one of the only places left on Earth that hasn't been fully explored. There are parts of it that it's just blank on the map because they've never explored there. They don't know what's there. They don't know what's going on. So, firstly, that must already freak you out. Imagine that. 21st century, they have no idea what's going on down there.
But do they need to know if there's nothing going on?
Well, they don't know what's going on. There could be stuff going on.
No, but there's no chance that they'll go, we haven't been over there, and someone goes and there's like an Arndale centre. Nothing's going to be there, is it? So there's no...
Well,
no
I'll tell you
point.
what is there, okay? There's these various small tribes. Some of these tribes are still cannibals, eating people from other tribes.
Do they know they could move on? Have they got a telly? Or have they seen a telly and gone, I'm not up for that? Or are they saying...
It's not the Amish.
They haven't chosen
But what is
this.
the difference between the Amish and these people?
Well, the Amish are a group of people that choose to live in that way. These people are just essentially untouched by civilization. I mean, they do have interaction with civilization, and people do come there, but they still live in this very, very almost prehistoric way.
They did buy a telly, but there was nothing on because there isn't any broadcasters.
They couldn't plug it in.
Yeah.
They're having an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But there was one guy, okay, now he said that his brother was dying. This was a couple of years ago, right? His brother was dying. He said to his dying brother, what happened? Why are you dying? This guy said, it was a bloke in another village. Okay, he goes over to the other village. He kills this other bloke, right? He eats him, or eats bits of him. The other village gets a bit annoyed. They go, what's going on? Why did you kill this bloke? He went, sorry about that, right? They said, well, you need to make it up to us. He gave him a pig. They said, a pig's not enough. They gave him 5 pigs, so 5 pigs apparently made up for the fact that they'd killed one of them. They said, well, hang on, what are you going to do with this bloke's wife?
Why were they bartering? Why didn't they just get the police in and say, what's going on?
What police?
Yeah. Why didn't they call in Kojak? Because he'd have sorted it out, wouldn't he?
What I mean is, right, they're miles away from anything, but it doesn't sound like the great place to live, right? Could they not move? Could one of them go, do you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm moving or whatever, and go to a proper city. How far away is this? These Papa people to the next?
They're like the Smurfs. They're very like the Smurfs.
But how many miles away from a place with a normal life going on?
But think about this, Carl. Firstly, they don't speak the language, so they don't have any practical skills. They've got no experience of civilization. So even if they chose to go and live in one of these cities, what can they do? How can they function?
I think there's some bacteria that has better lives than that.
That's got to be offensive.
Why?
Okay, how about this is one of the weirdest things. This is one of the weirdest things, right?
Sorry. An entire people, an entire race
Just
of people.
dismiss.
No,
Just
I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying I wouldn't fancy it, is what I mean.
But they
You know what I
don't
mean? We're living
know
in
of
ice.
another world. How can they imagine that they could... Oh, I'll tell you what, this is boring. I'm tired of hunting for food and eating fish from the river. I'll tell you what, I'd like a world where there's iPods and room service. I'm going to go and move to New York. They're not thinking like that, are they, Carl? Because they don't know about this other world.
People go to these places on holiday now. They like a little bit of danger. They like to see how the others live. So all I'm saying is we know they exist. The Papa people, maybe people aren't going there. It doesn't sound like the best place. I can't imagine it having a tourist board or anything, right? But would they accept me if I popped over there and, with Suzanne in Papa?
Well, okay, this is one of the things that they do, okay, which is a tradition you may have to do. These Kombai, right, they invert their penises. So they push their penises back up inside their bodies.
Like a sock.
What for?
Well,
Keeps it out of the way.
Of what?
Well, if you're running through the undergrowth chasing a hog, you don't want it flapping away,
But
it's also become a kind of ceremonial thing. So if you were over there, you may well have to try it yourself.
You would have to try it yourself. If you went there, you'd have to try it yourself.
but even caveman had little pants on. Why haven't they?
Whoa!
But the thing is, I do loads of charities. I do loads of things like
Go on.
I pay for tools. You know, I do that thing, a monthly payment of £5, paying for you know, toolbox and that for someone out there. I help old people, which I'm going to stop, to be honest.
Why?
Because do you know this thing I do, Steve? Right.
No.
This is a £5 a month as well, right? I got stopped in Leicester Square one day. He said, oh, there's a little old woman somewhere. She's cold. Are you going to help her out? So I was like, oh, why me? Right. So anyway, so they said it's easier if people look after one old woman, right? So
Why me?
I've signed up to look after this old woman called, I don't know, call her name June or whatever. It doesn't matter. So
It does to her, but go on.
So anyway, so I'm paying this £5 a month, and the first £5, you know, first time I paid it, I got this thing in the post, right? And it had, you know, thanks a lot, Carl. You're looking after June. Here she is, you know, here's a little picture of her, and she's sat there, what have you, with a cardigan on and stuff like that. Every £5 you pay, you know, it'll be cheering her up, and, you know, look after her, pay for her food and what have you. So, for a bit, you feel good, don't you? And you think, well, I've done my bit for the world. Anyway, 2 months later, get another package, right? Picture of June in there again. She's got a tan. So he's saying you're paying to keep her warm. No, they meant a week in Mallorca or whatever. And this is what I mean. People if they can get away with it.
I don't know where to start.
That isn't having a go though.
What do you think? So what do you think? You think they're going? Don't bother getting a job or anything. Gout off a bit, gout off a bit. It's June.
I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult.
So you think Sir Bob should just wash his hands of the whole affair? You think it's a complete waste of time? Is that what you're saying? That you should just leave them to it? Just leave them to it, let them sink ever more into debt, ever more into hunger. You just think that should just carry on?
Do you know what I think he's saying? I think, now, I'm not putting words in your mouth. Are you saying they blew the last lot we gave them, they've got to learn a lesson? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Is that what you're thinking?
No.
What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking anything like that. All I was thinking is about this gig, it might have been better to do it, like, rather than, I don't know, ruining a grass field in Edinburgh and that, do it out in Africa, right? Get people out there, get the tourists up, do you know what I mean? Get a load of people out there. They've got loads
I don't reckon he's going to get people to walk to Edinburgh. I very much doubt
No, but
people are going to fly to Addis Ababa to see Coldplay.
cheap flights and what have you.
Right.
Hot dog stands and that, locals will love that, right? Job done.
Brilliant. Let's put him in charge.
Yeah, just for one day.
Let's put him in charge of Live Aid. If Bob Geldof is listening, I know, you respect him because he used to work on XFM.
No, but
if
he's done a lot
Bob,
as
if
well.
you're listening, please, I would love, oh my God, a conversation, Bob Geldof talking to, forget Kate Bush, forget
That would be
Helmer.
amazing.
Can Bob please call in and speak to Carl? No one call except Bob, so we know it's Bob calling. Right, get on the phone.
What's the phone number? What's the phone number?
Can't we talk to him next week?
He might be busy next week.
No,
He's
he
got
won't.
stuff to organise.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can talk to us next week, alright? I'm not gonna I'll go through the phones, it's mental.
Play a record.
Alright, what we're having? Bit of Killers?
Yeah. The Killers, somebody told me on XFM 104.9. Tell you what, talking of, starving, I went to what is meant to be the best restaurant in the world on,
Oh yeah?
Wednesday, yeah.
Sure. You must be famished.
Well, Jonathan, Ross, booked a table there. It came out, I think he's been trying to get there for a while, and, I think there's a waiting list and everything, right? And, it
Well,
was
you got
voted-
over you're walking straight in.
he's walked straight in with that, yeah. Me and Jane went along with him and Jane to the Fat Duck in Bray. So it was voted the best restaurant in the world, okay?
Right.
And, it was incredible. I mean, it's across between a restaurant and sort of Barnum. They,
Yeah.
you know, just incredible food. But all the way there, I'm thinking, well, I can't eat stuff in normal restaurants. I don't eat red meat. I'm squeamish about things like seafood, anything that's a little, got too many legs, or was a crustacean once, or feeds on worms. I knew that one of their, signature dishes was snail porridge, so I'm thinking, I'm not gonna be able to eat anything here, so I was thinking, I had something to eat before I went. And, I was thinking, they better not have mucked around the bread, right? Got there, beautiful, and it was really quite fantastic. And I let them know straight away that I was a Philistine, and they really accommodated me. You know, I didn't have the snail porridge. They put mushrooms in my snail porridge, which is more of a risotto, and there's tasting menus and that, and it was really fantastic. But Jonathan, halfway through, on the way there, I don't like travel well, on the way there, he actually phoned me and said, "Why are we taking you to this restaurant?"
Good point. Very good point.
They know, even if I go around there, they cook me sausage and mash.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean?
Well, you have the palate of one of those kids from the Jamie Oliver school dinners programme, they've got the lovely Jamie Oliver cooked, you know, kind of, ratatouille, but they're going for the sort of chicken Twizzlers.
Wasn't all chicken. I love chicken. I like the chicken I can eat. I'm squeamish about red meats. There's nothing I've you know, it's a mixture of, it's not morals. There's only one thing I don't eat morally, that's veal. But the other thing else is just like, if it's got eyes and legs and things sticking out of it, or there's
But it hasn't got eyes and legs things sticking out of it. What are you talking about? I mean, it just infuriates me. I actually got to a point now where I refuse to eat out with Ricky. Because I can't, it just sucks the life out of me. It actually makes me depressed. I can't enjoy the experience. If you go to an awards do, they bring out lovely food, you know, 3 courses, and you're whinging. You're always whinging.
Which is hardly cooked, followed by lamb.
Lovely bit of lamb. Who doesn't think lamb is the best of all the meats?
Oh.
And you just, you whinge, you complain, you look at Jane like a little boy who's like, "Oh Mum, why have you brought me here?" You are just, it was, and I tell you, and I put it at the, you know, I don't want to, you know, badmouth people, but I suspect it's your family. I suspect it was your upbringing. I imagine, you know, I imagine that if I came to your house, you know, late 60s, early 70s, came round to your place in Reading, it would have just been the smell of chip fat. Just everywhere, pervading, just one of those chip fat fries that's just, yeah, like you say, constantly, 24 hours a day, just bubbling away.
I used to eat beef and pork and that, and I used to have to, eventually, when I was getting sort of squeamish and getting older, I'd make her burn it so much that it was just like chewing on a piece of leather anyway, where I couldn't stand the sight of blood or something.
A salad in your house would have been
I'll tell you what,
a pickled onion and a packet of crisps.
No, a salad in my house, right, was when it was summer, we were out in the garden, lovely salad, grated cheese, grated egg, 2 bits of beetroot with your leaf, a pickled onion, and a packet of crisps. And that was a salad. But
now is that? Do you agree that is probably the reason why you've got this palate? And I don't even. It's not even a palate. That's too nice a word to use.
I've got more squeamish as I've got older. Because I say I used to eat beef and pork.
What do you mean squeamish? I don't understand what you mean. Squeamish.
I suddenly think about it. I can eat like, you know, like it has to be blasted. It has to be unrecognised to be an animal. You know what I mean? I mustn't see a bit of pink or a bit of fat.
So if we were in biblical times, and you're there, and Jesus Christ has just fed 40,000 with some fishes and some loaves, you'd be going, "I'm not into the fish, JC."
I say take the head off, really cook it, take the skin off. I can see a bit of spine.
And unless that bread is mighty white, I'm not interested.
No. Yeah, but the thing is, what he hasn't said is, well, he gets frustrated because we have to go from restaurant to restaurant for something I can eat. But the reason we've only got about 3 restaurants to choose from are that, because he doesn't want to spend more than a £5 at lunchtime.
At lunchtime? If I was going out of an evening, you'd spend a decent amount of wallop. But lunchtime,
Would you?
You'd be happy to spend 20 quid on lunch. Imagine that every single day. There's no one out there who's eating lunch 20 quid a day on lunch. It's crazy. You don't need that much food at lunchtime, because I know what happens. You go in there, you have some kind of, you know, tiger in curry for lunch. You're asleep by 1:30. We're trying to work. We're trying to write TV shows, and you're dozing off like one of those giant anacondas that's just eating a sheep and is slowly digesting it. It takes like 3 weeks.
He doesn't eat Carl. He does not like the spare. He'll walk a mile out of his way to get a sandwich.
Having an argument over that 50p that time. I don't want to bring that back up again.
Here's the situation, Carl. I lent you 50p, and you decided you weren't going to pay me back. It should be to my discretion if I say, "Don't worry about it, Carl. You should offer me the 50p. Go, there's that 50p I owe you," and I'll go, "Don't worry about it, Carl." But you didn't even do that.
No, it's the way that you were like.
I said, "Where's my 50p?" You went, "Oh, you don't need that." That's not your decision,
I didn't say that. I said I don't think I've got it at the moment or whatever.
Rubbish.
And you're going through my pockets and that.
Rubbish.
50p. Ridiculous.
He's just giving him a keg of beer for free, hasn't he?
Well, let's not go over it again. I mean,
I just think value for money is important. Like, now, okay, so for instance, in the morning I have to get the tube, but you can get a travel card, zones 1 and 2, right? It's about £4.70, I think. But before 9:30, it's about £6.50. Alright, and then at 9:30, when the clock, literally on the clock ticks over to 9:30, it's £4.70, right? Now, sometimes I'll get there, it'll be about 9:20. Now, you'd be saying to me, "Oh, just spend it, and I'm thinking, I've got 10 minutes. I'll perhaps read the paper, wait for it to click over to 9:30, and then I can get a cheaper ticket. Now, surely that makes sense. Surely that's logic. Don't I mean, if you were in that situation, Rick, if you were there, right, and you had, let's say you had 3 minutes to wait before 9:30, what would you do? Would you stand there and wait?
No, because waiting to me is worse than anything.
It's madness. It's
I
madness.
can't stand queuing, I can't stand, no, I'd pay, yeah.
How long would it have to be before you'd wait?
I
If there
mean,
was like a minute on the clock to go, would you wait?
if they literally said, if you wait 30 seconds, it's, I go, alright.
Well, that is the case. That literally is the case.
Okay, but not 10 minutes, no.
What
Not
about you,
worth it.
Carl?
I'd feel if it was 30 seconds, I'd feel flash going, I'd spend £3. But if it was like a couple of minutes, I go, oh, it doesn't matter. I just wouldn't.
Madness.
Yeah,
Think about how that tots up over the years.
amazing.